Okay, so my next topic, which I think all of you will be on the same page about, is the ruling from a judge yesterday that President Trump's buyouts for federal employees can proceed. A labor group had challenged this and said he's not within his rights. He can't do this. And a judge in Massachusetts basically said, you guys don't have standing. So your complaint against this doesn't work.
Thank goodness for that too, because like I know somebody who's that wants to be bought out from their federal job. And they were concerned because they're like, oh, this decision is in their hands right now was appointed by Bill Clinton, apparently. So there was a worry there, but evidently everything was fine and he didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think the door is still open for other challenges against it. This labor group, they're saying, wasn't directly, the judge was like, you guys aren't directly affected, so you can't bring a lawsuit claiming that you are potentially experiencing damages because of this. The challenge, I think, is definitely that this is being marketed as some sort of crazy Trump's a bad guy thing. But I think the longer it exists and the more federal workers who can take the buyout options, the more of them will be like, this doesn't seem so bad, right? They're going to get paid through September 30th.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is horrible. This is awful. I hate this. Why are we paying these crooks to be crooks? First, I want criminal indictments of the fraud, waste, and abuse. Then I'll be nice. Let's give them a week. Let's give the federal employees a week to come forward with the corruption and the abuse that happens behind the scenes, and let them come out. Let's have one week where they get to, of course, just tell the truth. And if they do, they'll be spared here. If not, and if there's any kind of corruption, criminal prosecution of them. And then after you weed out all the bad apples, you don't reward the bad apples by giving them paid leave till September. Only after that, after you have this larger kind of period where you're actually able to see who the bad players and the good players are, then you offer people who are good people, who are honest people, who are people that are actually, legitimate, good people and not abusing the system, that offer, and then you give them that money. So I'm mad at Trump. Bad move here. I understand he's playing nice here, but I think it's long time over to play nice here. And personally, that's how I would conduct this larger kind of operation, which I think would have been more advantageous for the American taxpayer.
See, I think that you would spend a lot of time proving corruption, which they can still do. They can go after waste and corruption. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I think that there are a lot of middle to lower tier bureaucrats who have a desk that kind of a desk job that kind of does nothing, that these jobs that Elon Musk is trying to eliminate because they're just they're not really doing anything. And so if you give them the option to leave of their own volition while you go after the corruption, you're getting both jobs done at once. You're getting the people who are like, I don't know, I don't really want to be here. I don't really care. Maybe they're corrupt, but maybe they're just kind of bureaucrats.
But you're also rewarding bad behavior. There's no reason someone who's bad. I mean, if you're a corrupt bureaucrat, right, and you
don't know that all of them are corrupt. Some of them could just be kind of lazy middlemen.
This also applies to people who work at the VA and stuff too. They're not. Some of them are military who work at military hospitals. This, that, and the other. So it's not just. It's not just corrupt feds that
the VA is god awful. I had a couple friends go to the VA and they're like, this is the worst, most awful system on the face of this earth. Run
it is a pain in the butt
by absolute horrible predatory monsters out there. No, I'm saying if you're one of those corrupted people, you're going to take the buyout. I don't want them to take the buyout. I want them to come forward. And again, strategically, there's going to be so many bad apples that are going to be so happy with this news because there's so many people that are working for the government that are doing absolutely nothing. But there's also criminal elements within the government doing unethical, ungodly experiments with aborted fetuses and animals and other stuff.
Do you think they would leave? I don't think they would take the buyout because they're addicted to the power that they have.
Right. Yeah, but they know that their time's coming.
I'd rather have the whole summer off and maybe I'll look for a new job and maybe I won't. Those are sort of the people that'll be like, yeah, I'll take the buyout. This could benefit me long term. People who believe that they are, righteous for the work that they do or the corruption that gives them some kind of purpose, the kinds of people that we see exposed by James O'Keefe. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think that they are too addicted to their own sense of self-worth to leave with a buyout. It's not enough. And they're the ones who are like, Trump can't downsize the government. How will anything work? Even though we're just wasting money and that's constantly being proven. Sorry, go ahead, Melonie.
Yeah, like a lot of people on the Fed side do have jobs that are like ridiculously easy, and they don't want to, they're being overpaid for a ridiculously easy job. And so a lot of them don't want the buyouts. But there, like I said, there's some people who are honest workers at like the VA or something who do want the buyout. So I do agree with Hannah Claire there that the ones who are more corrupt and they're not going to be wanting these buyouts most likely.
No escape for the enemies. Do not let them flee. Do not allow them to escape.
Because I mean, where else are they going to get a job where they can get away with all that crap? It's just.
Yeah, it's only the government that allows such ineptitude and such criminality. And truly, they should go to China. They should go to Cuba. They should go to Venezuela. But there literally are government employees riding tricycles in old limestone mines, right? Doing retirement
paperwork
for the government. Okay, that is absolutely just insane and crazy. These people do not deserve a position of power. They do not deserve safe haven. They do not deserve a buyout. I want to see as much of them gone, but I think there needs to be a better process at play here that allows a lot of these people to actually fix their wrongs. Because, I believe in redemption. I believe, if you did something wrong, if you stole, you should have the ability to come forward and then ask for forgiveness. I could understand that.
Right.
But they're not given that position at all. They're saying, here, just take more money from the American taxpayer and get out of here. No. Come and confess your sins here, all right? There's a lot of sins here. There's a lot of ungodliness. There's a lot of satanic, evil virtue here that these people revel in, and they kind of roll around like pigs in ish.
Melonie, are you Christ-pilling Luke? Because that's great.
I love it. This is great.
No,
I've been talking about the satanic overlords for about 20 years now, and they're pretty evil.
So
I
you've
think
been
that part of it
Christ filled?
Melonie, send
He'll
him a
get
Bible. Let's get this going live.
Here, take this. If you
I don't think it works that way, Melonie.
If you acknowledge evil, then you should be able to acknowledge that God and his goodness and the grace of Jesus Christ exists.
I want to see a confessional right now in Washington, D.C. that's live streamed of all these bureaucrats coming in, sitting down and saying, I have sinned, I have stolen, I have created hybrid man-bear-pigs chimera experiments, I have created bioweapons, I have created weapons to make you gay.
They won't do that. They're not going to confess to their crimes out loud. What I'm interested in is with the buyouts, I'd love to see what is different from typical severance offered to federal employees. Like if you were to say closing this part of the government and you're leaving under Biden, under Bush, under Obama, whoever, what would they have been offered as standard severance? Because I don't think these buyouts are that crazy. It's just that Trump is offering them en masse. Like maybe the deadlines are a little bit looser, maybe getting through September is one. But once, the time closes, obviously there's some kind of deadline. He said you can get paid through September 30th. After September 30th, it seems like they will then go through with like a huge okay, well, now you just have to leave. You don't get anything. I'm not sure what standard protocol for the federal government is. And again, I think it'd be fun to have a confessional where they're all saying everything they did wrong, but I just don't think they would. Melonie, do you think the bureaucrats are going to whistleblow on themselves?
No, I don't think so, but I also don't think they're even going to want the buyout. That's the thing is people who do really corrupt things in general, they kind of have narcissistic tendencies where they don't think they're going to get caught anyway. And if they think that they can stick around and still get paid way too much to do the corrupt things that they're doing, then they're going to do that. Things always catch up to people. If you're stealing, if you're lying or whatever else, it will always catch up to you.
Do you think that the public is swayed by the panic about these buyouts? Or do you think, Americans who work in the private sector look at it and say that's a sweet deal. What are you guys complaining about?
I just like the person I know who works at the VA is just like, please, I want this. This is great. But I think for people more on the actual Fed side, like not at military hospitals, they don't want this. Like there's a whole Reddit of don't cave to the buyout. Like I saved a picture from a whole Reddit community from feds that are like, stand strong.
Stay strong.
Yeah, let me find that because it's like, what is going on? Why do they not? I don't know.
Well, they look at it as Trump
crazy.
being a bully, which is kind of crazy because, like, if you worked a government job, you know, and Elon Musk was like, you all have to return to work and you didn't want to, like, this is your best option. What?
Federal workers hold the line, don't resign. There's an actual subreddit where these federal workers are all there and they're just showing their TDS and saying, don't resign, guys, hold the line, stand strong.
Federal workers, I think, is the biggest oxymoron of our living time, right? Because they haven't been working at all.
Right.
They don't work. They're just welfare queens that take our money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And spend it on nonsense that didn't need to be spent on. And there's so much government, there's so much regulation, there's so much rules, there's so many interagencies just stepping on top of each other, just trying to control and squash any kind of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness that we were promised here in this country. So no safe quarters, fire them all, get rid of all of them. Trump's being too nice here, in my opinion. Set up that confessional and allow them to at least redeem themselves. Allow them to at least come forward and say, hey, we're going to expose you sooner or later, but if you come forward, there'll be less consequences if you come forward and tell us what's going on here.